9:45, a quarter away from 10 o'clock. Mark Hilliard is in the studio with us. Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. Not a busy time at all for them, is it? And I probably just made you a little busier because Bob Fulton was just in with his new book on the Steelers called When Rooney Sold the Steelers. And I said, Mr. Rooney's actually coming here for the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe they can buy your book and go up and ask him for an autograph. Probably not a good idea on my part, huh?
Well, hey, he can. We're happy to have him buy a ticket and come up and
sure, buy a ticket and come on up. Our visit with Mark
okay.
This morning, presented by Marcus and Mack, voted best law firm, best personal injury lawyer 4 years in a row, the best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. That's getting really close, isn't it?
Yeah, December 11th. So we are pacing well ahead of the past couple of years in terms of ticket sales right now. So. We do anticipate it being a full house, and normally when you get a name like Dan Rooney, that kind of thing happens. So we're really excited about that. But I would say if you haven't gotten a ticket yet, please do so as soon as possible. You can go on to IndianaCountyChamber.com and click on the events tab, and you'll be able to book your reservation there. And if you're interested in the VIP meet with Mr. Rooney prior to the event at 3:00, then there's some sponsorship opportunities available as well. So it's a great end of year event for us. We always look forward to it, like kind of celebrate the holiday, celebrate the year that was. And this year we've got a fantastic speaker as well that'll be able to share some things. That's coming in here after a Steelers loss doesn't make it too much easier, but maybe you have. Maybe you want to vent to him, too. that certainly could be available. I'm sure he's heard it before.
Well, on that date, maybe he's coming in after a Steelers win.
That is correct. It'll be a Thursday, so, and there's no Steelers game on that Thursday night. But maybe he will be coming after a Steelers win. There may be a couple of Steelers wins after that. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. But either way, it's a great event. There's some amazing food. We have different food stations, carving stations, a mashed potato bar, which is pretty neat, as well as, all the regular festivities. And we'll announce our new Business Hall of Fame class that night as well. And that's something that we've been taking nominations for, and it's always a very difficult choice. So I know our nominations committee is finalizing some of their voting right now, and we'll see how that goes. But it's an exciting year, and this has been a great year for Indiana County and really good things ahead. So we're really looking forward to December the 11th and this great annual meeting celebration.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The review of business doings, comings and goings here in Indiana County in 2025, you might have to schedule an extra hour to go over everything.
Yeah, we have to summarize some things there, but I'm much happier talking about that than maybe a couple of years ago when there was a lot of uncertainty, around, and now things are looking so much better, and we're really pleased with the way the state budget went as well. I think that helps our county with some of the big things that came out of that budget, and I think overall with the anticipation of Homer City, the growth of some other projects throughout the area, we're really poised for a pretty exciting couple of years, and it's nice to be able to say that instead of trying to tiptoe around some negative things that may have been happening a little while back, but now it's very positive, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, well, one of the exciting things about Homer City redevelopment and everything that they will be bringing to the area is that there will be people riding those coattails into Indiana County. There will be businesses that come here just because they see what's happening here in Indiana County, and that's an exciting thing too.
Yeah, you can never guarantee anything like that in terms of, well, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. But I will say, we've done a lot of our research on areas that have had similar projects. Now, granted, this is the country's largest natural gas power plant that is being built, so there may not be anything to this scale, but other projects where they've had an energy producer as well as these data centers coming in, you're absolutely correct. Usually, you see other industries looking to move in, businesses moving in that want to be close to that, that property and that campus. So, we anticipate that happening. And I think even if you listen to some of the comments and if you watch the development conference that took place a couple of weeks ago, I think even some of the comments indicated that there may be some interest, and they anticipate some interest from other types of businesses besides the data centers coming there. And I think, traditionally around the country and around the world, when projects of similar scope have happened, that's exactly what has happened. So that kind of makes it a little more exciting. And we see some of the growth with a lot of the things happening. I think with the, happening at IRMC, with the College of Osteopathic Medicine. I just think there's a lot of things that are starting to put Indiana really on an upward trajectory.
I sort of had that in mind last week when I asked the county commissioners about the industrial parks that have opened around Indiana County. That goes back 25, 30 years, the first of those.
Yeah.
But the county has made real efforts to make things ready for when someone makes an inquiry. They can say, this is what we have here, this is what we have there, here are the infrastructures that are available, here's the highway system that we have, and it's really been a benefit.
I think that there was a lot of forward thinking, going back a number of commissioners and when a lot of those things have started. And I think a lot of the people who were in place, both at the county and the state level, to help get those parks ready to go and just creating the infrastructure here to be able to have some of the growth, that is a credit to those individuals to be able to have that kind of forward thinking. And there are probably years where you're looking at, why do we do this and why did we invest this money? But then you start seeing an urban coming into town, and then now with Homer City, and you're seeing some of the other growth with some of these manufacturers. It's just, I think a lot of things that, it doesn't always pay off quickly, when you're starting to invest in some of the infrastructure. That's a long-term gain, a long-term goal there, and it's really looking now like it's going to pay off big time for Indiana County. But, I admire the people who were able to think forward, and we're trying to do that now as well, with other projects and with other sites, and, being able to look forward and see, okay, what do we need to get ready for the next 10 years and beyond to make sure that we can handle the growth, that make sure that we can handle, some of the things that could potentially happen here in the next decade, next 20 years.
Yeah. I remember when Urban came in, and one of the interesting things was Urban came in, and to great fanfare. Obviously, we were very excited to have them come, but they've been a really quiet tenant. There hasn't been a whole lot of great explosive news coming out of there. Just, they're here in the county, they're doing what they do, and hopefully they'll be able to continue to provide jobs for a very long time. And that's, behind the scenes is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're happy with people like that. If they're going to come and employ a few hundred people, we're certainly open to that. They don't necessarily have to be making news every week or every month or every year. They're just going about their business consistently and doing a good job of that. And we would love a couple more urbans if we could get them. And I think that you talked about the workforce. I think that's something that we really are looking forward to here with Homer City, and not just the temporary construction, but the long-term potential of some of these people staying here. That's one thing I said at the conference. We've heard a lot, when we do hear some of the not so positive comments about Homer City, the focus is on, well, these people are only going to be here for a couple of years. And number one, they're still going to be here for a couple of years. And in those couple of years, they're going to be investing money and putting money back into the area through, just shopping in our stores, eating at our restaurants. They're still making an impact in our local economy. And then I always look at the potential for, these people staying here longer term. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's always the potential when you're coming into the county, and we heard this at the development conference with IRMC, when they have doctors coming in and they're just doing a quick tour of the area and not really sure what they want to do. And by the time that they're ready to leave, they've already made the decision that they want to stay here in Indiana because they fell in love. And I think that, when we put our best foot forward, and you see things like what happened last Friday night, I mean, it's hard to not come into an area like this and see things like that and not want to make this your home, because the quality of life is pretty special.
It was pretty amazing on Friday, wasn't it?
It was awesome. It was gave you, all the good feelings, when you're walking up and down the street, and even looking at the preparation and seeing the amount of people that were there. Perfect weather. I mean, rain held off till the end, and that was great. But it's really a special town. And I mean, it's a special county, a special community. And that's one of my favorite nights of the year. And I thought it was perfect last week.
I don't want to let the rest of our visit get away from us without talking more about chamber things that are happening. So you've got the big, the annual meeting coming up. And then, of course, you continue to work through the holiday season and on into 2026. What are some of the plans for things coming up?
Well, our big plan is getting ready to move. So we're excited to move into the new building with the Indiana County Tourist Bureau in downtown Indiana, and that should happen shortly after the first of the year. I think most of the construction's nearing completion over there. So we can't wait for that. And we'd love to hold a big open house and invite the public in to see what's going on. And that'll certainly be an opportunity to be able to host events and do a lot of other things for the county there in a true welcome center for Indiana County. And as we look towards next year, we have a number of different priorities, and I think we talk next month, so I can get into some of these then as well. But, we want to continue to focus on, business education and business workshops and trying to find ways to support our local businesses through different education initiatives or seminars. There's a lot of topics that are out there, and truthfully, one of the things we want to do also is how we can prepare these businesses through a number of different means for what we anticipate happening, not just in Homer City, but throughout the county. So, we want our business community, number one, to be ready for it and also to be able to take advantage of it when it is here. And, I think if you can, there's a real opportunity for everybody to benefit from this and not just some of the bigger companies. But we also don't want to be reactive to when things are already happening and, oh, boy, I wish we would have done this or that. Mm-hmm. I think that if we can get our business community ready, we can have a lot of people benefiting from this great thing that could happen to our local economy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so annual luncheon?
Yeah, December the 11th at the Indiana Country Club. It starts at 3 o'clock. VIP starts at 2, and that's with Mr. Dan Rooney. And IndianaCountyChamber.com, click on events, and you can be able to register there.
You can still get in.
You could still get in, but I would say by the end of the week or certainly by next week, usually after Thanksgiving is when it starts getting full. But like I said, our tickets are pacing well ahead, so anytime it could shut off, and we're limited with space there, but it makes it for a more intimate atmosphere and great speaker. I think it'll be a fun night.
Absolutely does. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Todd.
Mark
Happy
Hilliard.
Thanksgiving.
There, you too. Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.